And Derek, in the spirit of talking about these different position groups and these different, all the stuff we've just talked about, and now looking ahead to training camp, we have to start by talking about the most heated and most talked about by far position battle going into training camp. That is the quarterback one position battle between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. Now, there's so much I feel like that can be said about, both these quarterbacks. I mean, we've talked about it ad nauseum, not just us, but everybody's been talking about it all off season. Who's going to win that battle? Who's going to be QB1 this year? Because Anthony Richardson, through the first 2 years, he's had some very up and down moments. And you bring in Daniel Jones for a pretty substantial contract for a real legitimate quarterback competition. It's going to be so fascinating, man, to see how this does play out throughout the course of training camp, preseason, because right now I feel like it's pretty much anyone's game right now.
There's also just a lot of luck, and there's a lot of mystery behind this too, right, Cody? Because right now you don't know how Daniel Jones and especially Anthony Richardson are going to play throughout this offseason, right? We hope that we see Anthony Richardson develop and that he surrounded himself around the right people. He had Josh Allen's QB specialist coach come out and help him with his throwing mechanics and all these other things. He was down in Florida and all this other stuff, training and doing all this stuff. So, and we've seen it too, Cody, right? We've seen the videos in the offseason before Richardson had some re-aggravation of the shoulder. When he was throwing, we saw the mechanics looked a little different. The footwork was different. The way he threw the football was different. There were definitely some things that we saw he looked better than what he did last year when throwing the football. Now, obviously, that is him just throwing routes to wide receivers. How is that going to translate to playing against regular defenses throughout the entirety of the offseason and this year? How is it going to look? I have no idea. And of course, when we look at Daniel Jones too, we don't know what Daniel Jones we're going to get, right? We don't know if this is the 2019, 2020 Daniel Jones where we saw, Daniel Jones have a few less turnovers, but the touchdown numbers were pretty decent. And, the yards weren't too bad. And, wasn't by far and away a very good quarterback, but was easily an average to at times above average quarterback, which, is definitely better quarterback play than we've gotten in the last several years versus are we going to get 2022 Daniel Jones? Are we going to get 2023 Daniel Jones where Daniel Jones just looked lost behind that Giants offensive line and just seemed like he had no idea what was going on? Is that the Daniel Jones that we're going to get? Ultimately, there's just a lot of question marks about neither one of these guys really deserve this job right now.